Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead World Beyond, episode 4, titled The Wrong End of a Telescope. This episode was pretty good. I think it was one of the better episodes of the season so far. There were some issues I had with the episode, which we will discuss in this review, as well as that ending, which was pretty awesome in my opinion. So we're going to be discussing all of the episode in this video, so spoiler warning in case you have not seen the episode or you aren't caught up with The Walking Dead World Beyond. Go check it out and then come back to this review. But with that being said, let's get into it. So yeah, like I said, I like this episode. I thought it was one of the better ones. I keep forgetting that The World Beyond only has 10 episodes, so we're already like almost halfway through. Which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, I do like how they are giving us a lot of CRM hints throughout the episodes. It's not just the ending or anything like that. We are getting a lot of CRM stuff, which is really cool. And again, we're going to discuss that ending with the CRM walkers, test subjects. We're going to discuss that towards the end of the video. I want to discuss the actual episode first, and then I'm going to probably have like a separate video also talking about that, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I liked this episode. So we saw in this episode that the group, they went inside this high school, and I think the reason I did like it was for a mixture of two reasons. We had some really great character stuff, and then also I love the setting of the episode. I thought there was a horror and suspense feeling to the episode, which is something that's been missing on The World Beyond. So we also did get some really good flashbacks. Like I liked the flashback with Hope and Iris's dad. We got to see him in the flesh rather than just like photos and like stories and stuff like that. So I thought that was really cool. And also we got to learn more about Silas. So the thing about, so I do like how we're learning about characters, right? But I feel like they're ignoring some of the other characters, which I guess is too early to say. It's too early to say anything because we still have a lot of episodes left. So they could easily just tell us about other characters later on. But I do feel like some of the characters we haven't learned that much about. And hopefully that changes, you know, as the show continues, which I think they will, because that seems to be the way the show is going, because they're headed over to New York. Well, we don't know if they're gonna get to New York or they're gonna turn back or what, because that's what they were discussing in this episode. But during their journey, we're just learning a lot about the characters. So we'll see I will see who else we learn about. But I do like how we learn about the characters. But going back to that journey thing, I just want the journey to be more interesting, right? That's been like the biggest complaint I've had for the show, and that's why I liked this episode, because I thought the setting was really interesting opposed to them just walking around doing nothing and just talking. So they can definitely keep up what they're doing with the characters and their stories, but I just hope the journey becomes more interesting. So going back to what I was saying with the setting, so I liked how there was a horror and suspense aspect to this episode. I liked the scene where they had the walker blood on the ground and it looked like somebody was like dragging the walker or something like that. And I love that scene when Felix and Elton like left the area, and then but the camera stayed and we saw that walker like crawl out of the door and then something like pulled it back. I love that scene. But so we learned it was a wolf, right? And I did like that. It was something that we haven't really seen be a threat to our people before, like on any show really. I mean, I know there was Shiva, but Shiva wasn't a threat to our people, so we haven't really seen something like this before. So I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was interesting to see a wolf surviving this long into a zombie apocalypse, and it was by itself, so that was really cool. But I do wish they did more with the wolf though, because they added all this suspense. You know, we had some really great scenes with Elton and Felix and the wolf. And then Huck and Hope, they ran into the wolf, but then they just hid behind the door, and then later on they just snuck around it, and then that was it. So I felt like it was a bit anticlimactic, like especially since like Felix and Elton didn't even see the wolf, right? Like they had all those great scenes with the two of them, and then those two didn't even end up seeing the wolf, which I don't understand. Like they just totally ignore that. So we saw the group split up. They had 6 people, so they were like in groups of 2. And going back to Elton and Felix, I thought they had the best scenes. And I just wish I mean, the other duos were okay, but I feel like we didn't get as much out of them that I wanted. But Elton and Felix, I thought there was a lot of great scenes there. I did like that scene between the two of them, and I thought Felix was really good in this episode, and a great performance as well. The performances all around were actually really good in this episode. I wrote that down. Yeah, so all around, I thought everyone did a great job. I kind of like that dance scene that we had with Iris and Silas. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like some people might think that was like cheesy or cringy, and yeah, you can say that, but I don't know, I kind of liked it. I thought it was like really well made. I don't know. I thought with the music and them dancing in an empty gym, I don't know, just something about it was kind of cool. But I will say that I didn't think they needed to add the fake background. I don't know what the point was. Like, that kind of ruined it for me. Like, I did like it, but then like I just didn't think they needed to add that. Like, I know the whole point was because they were talking about how they were missing out on like the high school experience or whatever, and how, you know, they didn't go to dances and stuff like that, which is totally understandable, which is why I did like the dance scene. But I just didn't think they needed to add that fake background. It didn't look that good either. I don't know. I just didn't think it was necessary. But the music was good. Like, I just so I thought that was enough. And then again, like I said in the beginning of the video, we learned more about Silas. We saw what happened to him in his past. And why he's been like super quiet and stuff like that. And great performance from him. Again, all the performances were really good in this episode, but I did like how we learned about Silas, and that ending was sad, seeing his reaction and stuff like that. But I'm glad he has like a great group of friends. I liked how everyone is okay with him. You know, like even though he's sort of like isolating himself, they invite him back to the group. And I just like that because I did feel bad for Silas. And now the scene that we've all been waiting for to talk about, that ending was really awesome. Now I'm probably gonna make a separate video talking about the post-credit scene, and go and talk about it more in depth, but I'm definitely gonna touch on it now. So it was literally like a post-credit scene. In case you missed it, definitely go back and check it out, because yeah, it wasn't even like the last scene. It was like the credit. It was like a last scene, credits, and then literally a post-credit scene. So that's something we don't see a lot in The Walking Dead, so I thought that was really cool. But in the post-credit scene, we saw somebody from the CRM doing tests on walkers, and this was insane to see. I mean, I know it's been a popular theory with the CRM, but actually seeing it was kind of crazy. And we saw the lady called the walker test subject A402. So a couple of interesting things there. So the first one is the letter A, because remember, that's what Jadis is referring to, the people who she was going to trade to the CRM, I think. She was saying that I know there's like an A and B system, so that kind of tells us. And I'm assuming that the reason Jadis was calling these people A is because they were going to do tests on them, which is like, wow. But yeah, in the end there, she called in test subject A403. So is this telling us that they've been doing like 400 tests? Like, it's insane to think about. But yeah, so I have a video planned discussing this post-credit scene more in depth, so stay tuned for that if you are interested. But yeah, love the post-credit scene, and I'm very excited for the future of this show. And I think The World Beyond is definitely headed in the right direction. I thought this episode was a step in the right direction. So I'm going to leave it off there. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and opinions about the show and the episode specifically. Let me know what did you like about it, what didn't you like. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you are a fan of The Walking Dead, be sure to stay tuned by hitting that subscribe button, as we have a lot of content coming up. But again, I'm going to leave it off there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.